place, worm. Prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
So maybe I'm not the best source to be talking about this because I prefer the US broadcast of Dragon Ball Z with the Bruce Falconer score and the really cheesy dialogue that really sometimes made no sense, and that just gets me on nostalgia alone. But at least I can put that aside and really notice the fact that Kai is superior when it comes to its dialogue and the pacing of the show, even though I don't really like or prefer its background music compared to Bruce Falconer's score. But when it comes to Dragon Ball Super, I gotta be honest with you guys, that was the first time that I've seen Dragon Ball in Japanese, and I had my own reservations about it because I had grown up with the mentality that Sean Schemmel is Goku, Chris Sabat is Vegeta and Piccolo, and thinking that that could change, and hearing even just Goku's voice in the Japanese way kind of made me cringe at first. I'll be honest with you guys, because he just sounded extremely young compared to the badassery that is Sean Schemmel's voice work. But as I watched Dragon Ball Super, I completely fell in love with the voice acting in that. I fell in love with the way lines were said, with the dialogue. It was just pristine, I guess. There really wasn't any line delivery that I felt was questionable. There wasn't anything that brought really too much cringe into mind. And now that I've been watching Dragon Ball Super's dubbed version, there is some cringe, but there is a lot of unnecessary exposition that they just cram into scenes, and a lot of added dialogue and padding that makes scenes feel rushed and just jam-packed with voice work, where the Japanese scenes feel like they flow a lot better. And this has come to the forefront now with this infamous scene from Dragon Ball Super's most recent episode.
Well, for starters, I'd say thanks, but no thanks.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. Now then, it's time for me to make the donuts.
Is this dialogue memeable? Yes. Is it legendary? Probably. But is it hit? No. It definitely does not fit anything that we've seen from Hit in Dragon Ball Super's Japanese version, and that's the reason that I even have the capacity to make this video, because I really didn't want to comment too much, at least in this kind of way, when it came to Dragon Ball Super's dubbed version, because I really enjoy the return of a lot of the cast from Dragon Ball Z. I like Sean Schemmel, Christopher Sabat, even the new voice work for Whis and Beerus. Those actors, I really like the way they've done it, especially in Resurrection of F and Battle of Gods, and I really am looking forward to Dragon Ball Super's Broly and hear the dubbed version of that. But there are some instances in this version that have really made me question whether this is superior now to the Japanese, and I really don't think it is. I think that the Japanese version is better in the way that they presented things and the way that they explain things, and they don't add too much more to scenes. And this part of this episode where Hit's essentially talking about making donuts right before he kills or fights Goku, or he's trying to kill Goku, is just goofy. It makes the show lose any air of urgency and dread that it had before, at least this scene anyway. And this is a really serious moment in Dragon Ball Super. This is one of my favorite moments where Goku puts out a hit on himself, and Hit delivers it. He kills Goku. Goku brings himself back to life by using an energy or a ki blast, and then they fight, and Goku's really just testing his own limits, and it's not supposed to be meant as comedy. It's supposed to be serious, and having him say this line just makes it so goofy. It makes it undercut everything. And I know that this line originates from Dragon Ball Xenoverse, the line delivery in there, because Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has Hit talking about making donuts in one of his lines. Time to make the donuts. It's just terrible, and I thought when I first heard it, I was like, you know, I completely forgot about it originally, but I'm like thinking like, I think that this is weird. First of all, I was like, this is gonna be weird, and I'm hoping that they don't put this in the anime. But then I completely forgot about it because it wasn't that big of a deal, because sometimes the video games have weird line deliveries and weird lines to say, and then they went ahead and put it in an episode because it was in the video game, and that just really kind of messes with my head when it comes to this scene. It really just makes it so much more of a joke than it really should be, honestly. And that's why I'm making this video, because I just want to give you guys my 2 cents about it. I know it's funny, I know it's memeable, and it's in a sense it is kind of entertaining, I guess. But when it comes to the gravity of the situation, when it comes to bringing those badass moments from the dubbed from Dragon Ball Z and trying to put them in Super, it just really falls flat. And it makes it so now I'm thinking like Ultra Instinct Goku is going to be saying something goofy right before he takes out Jiren and then fails ultimately. But it has me with that fear. And this is the version that a lot of Americans and young American English-speaking kids, boys specifically, are going to be listening to and watching, just like I was watching Dragon Ball Z originally in English back in Toonami when I was watching it in the 90s and the early 2000s. So they're going to be watching this, and this is the version they're going to be... I have 3 sons, 3 boys, and this is what they're going to be watching in English first, obviously, before they start watching it in Japanese and they realize that Japanese is just far superior than English dubbed. But yeah, so they're gonna be seeing this, and this is gonna be important to them. And I guess I have no room to talk, I guess, since I prefer nostalgia sense. I prefer the US broadcast of Dragon Ball Z that had way worse lines than this, like tenfold way worse lines than this. So I guess I have no room to talk, and maybe this is just history repeating itself. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about Hit making donuts, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed anything that I had to say. This is going to be Blackscape signing off.